Hey guys, so what's going on? It's Mark here, and I'm just going to be doing a quick tutorial for some FL Studio stuff. It's one that I definitely had trouble with when I first started with FL, and that's how to install external plugins, VSTs. And it's actually pretty simple. A lot of VSTs that you'll download will come with an installer, which makes it just even easier. Although the manual way of installing them is also fairly simple, and I just feel that some of the videos I watched, it took me a few videos going through them to actually get to one that was easy to understand. And I was like, oh, no, that's pretty simple, because some of them just weren't really clear. So I'm going to try my best to do a really clear-cut one on how to install VSTs into FL Studio 12. Yeah. So obviously first what you want to do is go and find yourself a VST. I've just found one here. It's a free VST. I don't really know what it is. I think it's a synth one, I know that, but apart from that, I've not really read up much on it. And what you're going to do is just download it. I've already done that here. And what I've got here is just a zip folder. Now, this is a manual install one. It's not come with a installer exe file. So they'll normally come with a README, but if not, pretty much, well, actually no, every single VST that I've installed before, you have to go through the exact same process. So that process is basically the ones that you want are these files here, the DLLs. That's the actual file, that's the VST itself. This one's come with obviously manuals, licenses, and it's actually come with skins and presets, which is pretty good, especially for a free VST. But basically what you want to do, just highlight them all and cut them. And you're going to want to go to your drive. So go to my computer. I've just got a C drive. So we're going to go in there. Program files x86, image line, and FL Studio 12, not the ASIO, 12. And plugins and VST. Now these are your external ones. Fruity ones are the ones that the effects and the generators that come with FL Studio. You want VSTs because they're the instruments essentially, and the DLL files for all the effects and whatnot that you get basically with FL. As you can see here, I've already got some. I've got Nexus and I've got Piano 1. I also do have a couple more. Oh, maybe I don't. But what you're going to do, just create a new folder, and this is called ob-xd, and go into that folder and basically paste it all there. Once it's gone through, wow, that is really slow. Probably because I'm recording the screen at the same time and I've got a few tabs open, but well, I guess I will just cut to when it's finished. So when that's all done, open up FL. Oh, don't need to right click there. And you're going to want to go to the add tab right up here in the corner and add a channel, but don't click on any of these, go to more plugins. Now this is where all of them come up. I did install this one previously, so it has actually popped up here already. If that happens, that's totally okay. You can double click on that and it will open up. If it doesn't come up here, what you want to do, manage plugins, and this should all be just left to default because it will just scan all the common files that are associated with Fruity Loops. If that's not right, make sure that the paths that it will be searching in here are your image line paths and any other VST folders that you've created on your computer. Make sure they're in this list, and then just hit start scan, and it'll scan your computer for all of the plugins that can be run on FL Studio. And what will normally happen is your new ones, they'll come up near the bottom here. As you can see here, I've got my Kickstart, Omnisphere, Silenth, and the new one as well. It should be there. You can't open it from here, but just tick the box and close it up. And then you can just go into your normal way of inserting a plugin into FL, which is just right click and insert. and it should be in your list here, which it is. And you just open up, and there we go. That's that. Here's one that's an installer. It's called TDR Nova. This is the download folder, and that's it. That is essentially what it is, just an installer setup. So you obviously want to run it. Hit next, and once you've read all the licensing agreements, as I said, I've actually installed this one already just to make sure it works fine. I've read it all. Hit accept, and here you can actually do this. The default folders that they create will actually work fine. I like to be safe though, and I like to just go into where the manual path would be. So that's program files x86, not the other one. Make sure you always get the x86 one, because that's where pretty much everything defaults to. I don't get why, but that's the way it is. Image line FL12, plugins VST. Okay. If you want to install both, I always just install all of them just to make sure that it runs okay, because I've never had an issue where it's installed all versions, the 32 and the 64. I have run into issues before where I've only installed the 64-bit, and errors have come up, and I just don't like to risk it. So I always just install all of them. It's not exactly really going to be a large file size unless you're installing like Massive or Zeta, Vanguard, Nexus or something like that. It's up to you obviously, but I always just prefer make sure I install all versions of it. There you go. It'll create a folder like that. That's fine. That's fine. And well, it's up to you again. And hit install. And you can close that up. And we will go through the same process as before. Scan. Normally your new ones will be at the bottom. Sometimes they are actually in the midst here. I think the first time I installed this, just to make sure it worked fine, it was up here, which was a bit odd. But they do normally go all the way down, as you can see. There it is. As I said before, installed it before, so it's already there. And this is actually a mixer thing. So going in here, more plugins, and there it is. And that's pretty much it. There's not much else to say. Basically, just make sure that you're installing them into the right directory on your computer, otherwise they won't be able to be scanned by FL, and as a result won't be able to be used in FL. If you ever do run into issues that you've installed it and it's not coming up on Fruity Loops, generally it's the fact that when FL is scanning your computer for the files that it needs to install, essentially not install, use the VSTs on the program, it's just not in a folder that's either on the list or that's basically it. Just make sure it's installed in the correct directory. If something else if there are other issues, it's normally to do with the DLL file. Try re-downloading the plugin to make sure that it's not a corrupt file. Sometimes I've had downloads of said they finished, but they've not actually downloaded the entire file. They've missed out a few megabytes of it, which is really weird. Normally you'd have an error message come up for that, but I have actually run into that before. Just make sure that the files are clean and all that. When you're downloading VSTs, there are a lot of websites that do have dodgy files. They might have the clean VSTs. They might have Nova here, which is a clean VST. I've triple checked to make sure. But some websites obviously have a bit of a dodgy server or whatnot, and may contain viruses. Just make sure that you're going to legit websites. These are legitimately free VSTs. Not all of them are paid for, and you're not doing anything illegal by getting VSTs for free, because a lot of them are free. It's just the bigger ones like Nexus, your Omnispheres and all that are huge libraries worth, and you do need to pay quite a bit of money for them. But in all honesty, they are worth it if you do take this seriously enough and you do really enjoy it. But a lot of the free VSTs, they are really, really good. The Piano 1 VST that I've got here is actually a free one. It's basically just FL keys. I just think it's a slightly better version of FL keys, and it's nice to just have a simple piano VST to pop in. I mean, yeah, Nexus is great, Omnisphere is great, but sometimes you just want, a simple one, because when you're running bigger VSTs like Nexus and Omnisphere, they're taking up more CPU and more RAM. So if you have like 5 running at a time, it can really, depending on your computer obviously, it can really slow down the performance, and as a result you'll get like your computer will be using too much CPU through FL Studio, and you'll end up getting like issues with audio crackling and whatnot. So sometimes using these smaller free VSTs is a better option. But that's pretty much it. If you do have any questions, just let me know below. I will try to answer them as best I can. I'm not a complete whiz when it comes to this kind of stuff, but I know the basics. So if you've got a simple question, I might be able to help. So if you do need any assistance, leave it down below. And otherwise, I hope you've enjoyed. I'll be coming up with more of these. And yeah, have a great day, guys. See you later.